And finally, hello. Hello.
It is.
Hello, everybody.
They just muted.
Hi, Miss Tina.
Hey, Tiger.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, everyone. Welcome. We're going to get started in a few minutes. We're just letting some more folks out of the waiting room into the event. So while we wait to have people join us, we thought it'd be super helpful if your username includes your full name and your class year. If you're a friend of the university joining us today or a friend of one of our inductees, you could just include your full name. Use the chat feature, let us know where you're tuning in from. Also, be sure to keep your cameras on so we can see everyone throughout the program. And then during the program, we're just asking attendees to mute. We'll get started shortly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so again, hi everyone, and thank you for joining us for this special evening as we induct this year's WSOU Hall of Fame members, Dave Packer, Christina Del Giorno, and Victoria Hafner. Before we get started, we just want to share some reminders and notes about the next hour or so together. Just a reminder, if you haven't already done so, we encourage you to have your username be your full name and class year, or your name and affiliation to Seton Hall. We're going to actually want to be sure we give all of our alumni who aren't able to join us tonight the opportunity to participate in this experience as well. So letting you know today's session will be recorded. For this experience, it's best to have your speaker as the speaker as your full screen. So we just suggest it's the best if you see gallery view in the right viewing mode, it should be perfect setting. We encourage you to connect with each other and use the chat feature to shout out your fellow WSOU alumni. And if you need any assistance during the presentation, please use the chat feature on the right sidebar and someone from the university will reach out to you in private. So now it is my pleasure to introduce tonight's MC, Mark Mabin, General Manager of WSOU.
Well, good evening, everyone, and thanks so much for being here. It's a delight to see so many people out there virtually, and it's very exciting for everyone to be here. As Jamie just said, I'm Mark Mabin. I'm the General Manager of WSOU, for those of you who don't know me, and it is my pleasure to welcome you to the 2021 WSOU Hall of Fame induction ceremony. Thanks to the pandemic, we haven't done this since 2019, so bear with me if I'm a little bit rusty. Tonight, we are gathering to induct 2 members into the Hall of Fame. This will bring the total number of folks in the Hall of Fame to 23. In addition, we'll bestow this year's Distinguished Young Alumna Award. Today is also a birthday celebration because April 14th marks the 73rd birthday of WSOU, which is, yes, exactly. Woohoo! Our program will begin in earnest in just a moment. But first, it is time for our invocation by Father Colin Kay, the Interim Vice President for Mission and Ministry. Father Colin.
Thank you, Mark. Hello, everybody. I'm really grateful to be with you. This might get me into trouble, but I'm used to trouble by now. Wonder when the last time Art Garfunkel was played on WSOU. Art Garfunkel, the song all I know. You know how it goes. When the singer's gone, let the song go on. It's a fine line between the darkness and the dawn. They say in the darkest night, there's a light beyond. 74 years. Many have come and gone at WSOU. And the song has gone on too. Word just reached me this morning of the passing of Seton Hall and WSOU alumnus Mark Wurzberger, known on the air as Mark Mitchell. I'm told a kind man, a good man. We entrust him by our prayer and our best wishes to the Lord. The DJ's gone, the radio personality's gone, but let the song go on. Let's pray that for another 74 years, the song of WSOU goes on. We who are people of faith, we in particular who are Christians, we do believe what Art Garfunkel sang. We do believe that there's a fine line between the darkness and the dawn. We believe that in the darkest night, there's a light beyond. That's what Good Friday is all about. That's what Easter Sunday is all about. Join me now, after that lengthy introduction, brothers and sisters, in a moment of silence and with a little bit of prayer. Good Lord, open us. Open our eyes and our ears. Open our minds and our hearts to you, to your presence in us and among us, and to all that is authentically true and good and beautiful. Help us to know and to believe that the line between the darkness and the dawn is very fine. Help us to believe that in the darkest of nights in this world, there is a light beyond. Bless us, Lord, and those we gather to celebrate tonight. Keep us from all harm. Guide us safely along our way. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Thank you, Father Colin. I can fully endorse what a good and kind man Mark was. For obvious reasons, this will not be a typical Hall of Fame ceremony. While the pandemic requires us to gather virtually, we are still together, and that, of course, is the most important thing. A bonus of tonight's format is that I will be talking much less than I normally do, and that means you can all breathe a little bit easier. Before we begin the induction ceremony, I want to recognize the members of the WSOU Hall of Fame committee who did the challenging work of selecting our inductees. As always, we had more worthy individuals than room for in the Hall of Fame. The committee members include Missy Colazzo, Joe Garifo, Dan Holloway, Jen Kaiser, Jim Malaspina, Frank Scafidi, Glenn Schuck, Bernie Wagenblast, Bob Windrum, and me. With us tonight are several current members of the Hall of Fame: Joe Garifo, Bob Picozzi, Bill Rock, Glenn Schuck, and Bernie Wagenblast. We also have several prior recipients of the Young Alum Award: Gabby Cannella, Clayton Collier, and George Roskis. If I've missed anyone because I'm not aware you are out there in the electrons, I apologize. It's certainly not intentional. Also with us tonight is Dean Yates, Deirdre Yates, the Dean of the College of Communication and the Arts. She remains a very strong champion of the station, and she understands what we do, and she understands, more importantly, how special our students are. And I am eternally grateful for that. Finally, none of this would be happening tonight without the outstanding efforts of Jamie Cook and her colleagues in alumni engagement. We owe them our thanks, so thank you. And now for what has brought us all here. First, a few notes on the honors we will bestow tonight. The Distinguished Young Alum Award and Hall of Fame induction are not given simply for career achievement. We have so many station alumni who have gone on to enjoy great professional success. When deciding whom to honor, the Seton Hall community takes a variety of factors into account. Inductees are chosen based on their professional accomplishments, of course. But we also look at WSOU student career activities, after graduation service to WSOU and Seton Hall, support of current students, personal examples of servant leadership, and involvement in alumni activities. Our Hall of Fame is simply not about just fame. It's about the complete person that Seton Hall has always strived to cultivate and create in its students and its alumni. This evening, we're honoring individuals whose lives have been exemplary, not just professionally, but personally and in the public sphere. I promised earlier I would talk less this year. Rather than give you a full verbal bio of each honoree, we're going to let a little bit of video tell their stories tonight. First up is our Distinguished Young Alum honoree, Victoria Hafner, class of 2013. One of the benefits that comes with teaching, mentoring, and advising college students are the transformations that you are privileged to witness. Students who you meet during their freshman year are rarely the same students you shake hands with at commencement. Of course, now we'll have to elbow bump. A lot happens in that short span between 18 and 22 years of age. That was certainly true for Victoria. Already a mature and confident young person when she arrived at Seton Hall, it was inspiring to watch her blossom during her 4 years at the station. I remember attending a national conference with Victoria, observing her co-present a session and interact with others. I knew then she was ready for post-college life and would be a catch for any news organization that was smart enough to hire her. Let's take a look at what happened next.
Yay.
Can't be surprised with whatever Vic does.
On the campus of Seton Hall University,
relatively low cost.
Victoria was one of our finest students here.
And this is Pirate News Desk. I'm your host, Victoria Hafner.
My name is Victoria Hafner, and I am a 2013 graduate of Seton Hall University, obviously. I have a major in international relations and diplomacy. I also did a minor in journalism and in Arabic/Asian studies.
For WSOU News, I'm Victoria Hafner.
The college radio years are an incredible time where I was able to grow and just be myself and learn my skills and, hone in on that.
I remember when she first got to the school, we had a big staff meeting, which we have here a few times a year. And she came up to me during the staff meeting. I had no idea who she was. And she told me she wanted to be really involved. So from that point on, I knew that we had a winner here.
I was involved with WSU my entire 4 years at Seton Hall. I moved my way up from, the beginning to be a DJ. And then I, got into the news department as assistant news director and then news director. After I figured out that news was something that I really loved, I kind of pivoted and decided to pursue that. So I got internships while I was at Seton Hall at WABC, which is Eyewitness News in New York City. And then I had my senior year, I got an internship at CNN at the Program and Talent Development Division. Graduated, had a very brief stint at News 12 in the Bronx, and then basically I'd gotten a call that I was going to be able to have a job at CNN. So basically within that August after graduation, I was at CNN working at the morning show there. I moved on to be an associate producer at Aaron Burnett Out Front. So I moved to primetime, and that's where I got involved more so with video production. And I was, for both of my jobs, I was in the control room. So obviously it's a, pretty high stress situation most days.
Was very enthusiastic, hard worker, really smart. No one's surprised that she is doing so well professionally.
WSU is a place that's very close to my heart, and I've tried after I've graduated to still be engaged with the students.
Has been back here many times to talk to the students about what's happening in the real world.
At the time when I was at CNN, do tours, do talks with students, and just try to be a resource. Think about how incredible that was at such a young age, that you're able to broadcast in a public setting. Sometimes when I listen to WSU now, when I hear a DJ come on air, I just say, I want you to remember this. You're not going to always have this. This is something that is so special. It was just so surreal and exciting to be even in the same category as some of the wonderful mentors that I've had at the radio station. The same league and the same space as them was just very, very exciting.
That certainly gives you a sense of who Victoria was, both at WSOU and who she is now, which is just an incredible person and who does give so much back to the station. And Victoria, that is why it is my pleasure to present you virtually with the WSOU Distinguished Young Alumna Award. So please take a moment to enjoy the spotlight and say a few words.
Thank you again for this tremendous honor of being the distinguished young alumna. To this day, joining the radio station is one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. Besides a brief stint at my 5th grade newspaper, which was essentially 10 pages of computer paper stapled together, I had minimal experience in journalism, and it never crossed my mind that news would be a career option for me. So that all changed when I came to WSOU. And I initially came for the music, but then I left with an entirely new passion that had really changed the course of my entire life. So the radio station has, it gave me the first taste of what it takes to be a journalist at institutions like ABC News and at CNN, where I've been. And it's a tireless pursuit to tell the stories that need to be told. It's, overnight shifts, backup plans for newscasters that don't show up for their shifts. But I was able to experience so much in 4 years, and I continue to take all of these skills that I've learned and use them daily at my job right now. And so I recently decided to dig through my old journals to see what my 21-year-old self was thinking while I was at the radio station and while attending Seton Hall University. And I wrote a list entitled Amazing Opportunities Given to Me by WSOU. And that had 20 items underneath it. Among them were interviews with my favorite bands, international travel, moderating a conference with the indelible Glenn Schuck, awards for my reporting, and just the people that I've connected with. But perhaps the most fitting entry that can summarize my feelings even now was written my fall semester of my senior year, and it was just one simple sentence, quote, I freaking love this radio station. So congratulations, Dave and Christina, on your induction to the Hall of Fame. I want to thank my mother and my aunts who would tolerate the music to hear me on a newscast for 89.5 seconds. Mr. Maven and Frank, you've changed my life in more ways than you even know. And I appreciate you all for attending a Zoom and enduring it, because we obviously have not had enough of them. And I hope to be able to be in person with all of you someday soon. So thank you again.
Thank you, Victoria. And your call last week to ensure that we didn't wear the same thing tonight paid off.
We complement each other.
Yeah, I think so. I think we pulled it off. So we have two firsts tonight in the Hall of Fame. One, both inductees are from the same class year, 1988. Hasn't happened before. Two, we have our first female inductee, and it's about time. I first met Dave Packer at WSOU's 60th anniversary dinner. I certainly knew his voice. He has had a most distinguished career. At the time, Dave was doing mornings on Fresh 102.7 here in the New York market. At dinner that night, he told me how much he wanted to reconnect with WSOU and help current students. He was true to his word. Since then, Dave has mentored WSOU students, has encouraged people to support the station and our scholarship fund, and he is a wonderful advocate for the station. He's also just someone brilliant to talk to. And I've been grateful for his advice and his help and support through the years. And I have lots of wonderful things I can say about Dave, but let's see what some other people have to say about Dave.
Dave Packer, super talent.
His talent, his tenacity, his abilities, I knew that he should be in the Hall of Fame with all the things that he's done. And if you've never listened to Dave Packer, listen to him.
I'm Dave Packer. I'm an alumni from class of 1988. I was here at the radio station for 3 years when I transferred to Seton Hall. And I was here at the time when the station went to hard rock.
I went from, pop music to classic rock to hard rock to heavy metal.
We went from your typical college radio station where I would play, let's say, Paul McCartney and Wings, and then the next person would play Echo and the Bunnymen. Every day part had a different style because every kid just brought whatever they wanted to. And our year, thank you Dan Fano and Dan Blackman, they brought one format, and one format that everybody had to do.
So it was definitely a very formative time for the radio station, and certainly a very interesting time.
You know, not everybody wanted to play the music we were playing, trust me.
I heard the station driving around, and I knew about Seton Hall. I just thought, let me go check out this school. So I came over here to Seton Hall. I love the campus. I made sure I stopped at the radio station. I love that. And like so many people here at WSOU, this station was a big motivator in me applying to the university.
First of all, we want to say hi to everybody who's watching over in Keene on the other side of the state. And, we made the journey over here, and we're ready to go.
There are so many great people in this business who have come through this radio station. And just to be among them, to be a part of that is, it really kind of blew my mind.
He gave me my first shot on a real radio station.
Dave Packer, so proud of you, man. You are tremendous. I'll always remember the great times we had at WSOU, B101, and many others. Can't wait to see you. Congratulations. You are a Hall of Famer.
That is so true, Dave. You are a Hall of Famer. And so, Dave Packer, class of 1988, it is truly my honor to induct you into the WSOU Hall of Fame. Congratulations. Take it away.
Thank you, Mark. I appreciate it. And thanks to the Hall of Fame committee for this honor. So like we said before, there's so many talented and influential people in the industry that started their careers at WSOU. So I'm just honored, like I said, to be part of that and to be among those inducted into the Hall of Fame. Like so many of us, when we were at school, we found ourselves at the radio station at least once a day, sometimes maybe 2 or 3 times. We sort of lived there. And then during finals, Studio B became the study hall where, we all made lifelong friends. And WSOU led so many of them to becoming successes in their chosen professions. Between classes, though, at WSOU, talk about our college education. It was between those classes where we got our best education, being part of the campus radio station, giving us real experience, not just in radio, but in business and marketing and management. And I think it gave us the confidence that allowed us, those of us who wanted to go into radio, to walk into a radio station, and understand what was required for every position from board op to general manager. We knew we could do it because we already did. We did it before. And then, of course, the medal format, the story's been told. The 1986 revolution changed the sound of WSOU. And it wasn't without controversy, but the format has endured because it's given students that real world experience programming to an otherwise underserved market in the nation's largest market. And during that time, I was proud to be part of two of the most talented student manager groups, each with their own particular skill sets that built a strong foundation, not just for the radio station, but for the format. Also, I really wanted to take a moment to speak about Tom Parnum because he was such a great mentor to me back at the time. My dad was an engineer, so I totally, I kind of talked engineer, and I could relate to Tom. He put the station on the air, for those of you who don't know, back in 1948, and spent the rest of his life dedicated to it. But he also loved the students, especially those who took an interest in what he did. And I was one of those students. I remember him patiently explaining the inner workings of the station to somebody who probably asked too many questions. And I was proud when our hard-rocking fundraisers were able to buy the needed equipment that was on his wish list. He jumped right in, excited as we were to hook up the new CD players and cart players and new control board and Studio A. He was a mentor for so many generations and was loved. And I wanted to definitely mention him. And I, of course, have to mention my wife, Maureen. We met where else? At a radio station, not WSOU, but one I was working at in the 1990s. She made innumerable sacrifices for my career. You move around like a gypsy, as many of you know. And through all those moves and the job instability inherent in this business, she believed in me, even when I didn't believe in myself during those tough times. She knew I would be someday on the radio in New York, long before I could imagine it. She used to remind me of that. You're going to be on in New York. And she's been a partner throughout. And I most certainly would not be here accepting this today without her support. I want to thank my dad. He was so nervous when I told him I wanted to go into radio, and probably rightfully so. We lost him a few years ago. He would have loved to have been here to see this, although I know he is. A few days ago, an old friend sent me a link to a story from Boston. It was about Rick Hoyt. Now, Hoyt was born with cerebral palsy and had a father who never gave up on him. For years, Rick and his son, Dick, ran the Boston Marathon, Dick pushing Rick in a wheelchair the entire race. Very heartwarming. Well, Dick died on St. Patrick's Day, and his son spoke to the local Boston media this week. He can't speak on his own, though, so he uses the assistance of a computer. And the voice he chose is a mechanical representation of my own voice that I helped Microsoft create. And it was a reminder for me tonight of what a friend told me, that the Hall of Fame career, it's not about the things you've accomplished, but the many ways that you can touch other people's lives. Thanks.
Thank you, Dave. And again, congratulations. And that is a great, a great story to end on. We now move to our final honoree of the evening. When I was hired in 2004 to become WSOU's general manager, and in some ways that seems just like yesterday, I was aware, of course, of the station's excellent reputation. I knew the station had produced some notable radio voices. I just didn't realize how many. I certainly did not know that a voice I had heard tell me the traffic countless times before I got to WSOU belonged to WSOU alumna Tina Lange. Now, whether you know her as Tina Lange, Christina Del Giorno, maybe other names, she's been a part of our radio lives for more than 3 decades, and she's really good. And she has been a pioneer in several ways, including working live from a home studio before it was cool, and then before it was necessary. Tina has taken WSOU students under her wing And I've been inspired by how much she cares about the well-being of everyone in the WSOU family, now across multiple generations. It was also an honor for me. I don't think, well, we've had discussions about your son, but really it was a privilege, as I said before, to work with Giancarlo and to help him grow and mature along the way. I've been so impressed by Christina in the time that I have known her. And you can tell that others have been impressed too. Let's have a look.
Tina was the light of WSOU.
Yes, she could hang with the boys.
Her induction establishes a precedent.
Hi, I'm Tina, or known as Christina Lange on many New York radio stations. I can't believe that I can be on the list. I am so happy, thrilled beyond belief. I remember sitting on my parents' floor in their bedroom, listening to the radio, waiting for the radio contests, and I would listen on their little clock radio or whatever they had. I love radio, always have. I applied to different colleges that had radio programs farther away, Boston and, even California, just for a joke. But I'm like, why am I going anywhere? I've got WSOU and I've got Seton Hall in my backyard. I won't be a part of a parking lot in a different college. I will get to broadcast. And when I knew that, there was no doubt I was coming here.
I watched from the sidelines her career, and she has just done such a terrific job. If anyone deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, it's Tina.
She has sustained her radio career, going from being a disc jockey and doing traffic for so many years on stations like WPLJ and other stations around the New York City area.
It's been really very, very good to me. Traffic has been good to me. Just before the year 2000, I was doing afternoon drive on WPLJ in New York City. And at that time, I had a 5-year-old son. The radio show moved from the PM drive to AM drive, which would meant I would have to leave at 4 o'clock in the morning to get into New York City. The radio show host said, no way, we're gonna set you up at home. So whereas most people nowadays are just trying to get used to working from home and the challenges of, maybe putting pants on and trying not to open the refrigerator, I've been doing it for years.
As early as I can remember, 3 years old, crawling around, just hearing her on the radio. Growing up with a radio studio literally in my basement. It just brings such life to every conversation and every interaction.
When he was looking at colleges, I'm like, why go anywhere? Just go to Seton Hall. You can be a part of the station. It's the best. And honestly, it was the greatest thing for him.
Maybe it's genetic. Maybe I didn't have a choice, but totally inspired.
There were a couple of times I was on the air with Tina, and I always thought, God, I wish I could be at a professional radio station with Tina on the air.
She's making history out here.
Tina, congratulations. I knew you would. And I'm so happy that you are in the WSOU Hall of Fame. You represent us very well.
This station means so much to me that this honor, I'm good. I'm good being a traffic reporter. I got an honor. I got an award. I am so happy.
Well, Christina, I still think you have many other honors ahead. But I get it. What's better than being in the WSOU Hall of Fame?
Not a thing.
And so it is truly my pleasure, Christina, to welcome you and induct you in to the WSOU Hall of Fame, representing the class of 1988. Congratulations.
Woo!
JP!
I, first off, have to thank the entire WSOU Alumni Committee for giving me this honor and including you, Mr. Mark Maben. I can't even stop calling you Mr. Maben because from my son at school, I have never seen a more caring mentor ever. Very opposite of what we had in the 80s back at WSOU. I'm sure all of you have heard the stories. So thank you for being who you are and thank the Alumni Committee, really. I just have to say one thing. I think I'm the luckiest person in radio. I have a team of guardian angels, not just one. I've got a lot. The luck has run. I'm sure you guys watched Deadpool, the X-Force girl who her superpower was luck. So I have been so lucky. You heard I'm a radio geek. I used to carry my radio with me all over the place. Again, a friend of mine when I was in high school was like, if you love radio so much, why don't you just be a DJ on the radio? I'm like, oh, what a good idea. So I pursued it. And again, Seton Hall was right there for me. WSOU pumped out the best in radio at that time, and it continues to do. So why would I have gone anywhere else? Now, I'll start you off with my internship. I had an idol, Donna Fiducia. She was from my town. She was doing traffic, doing news. She worked at Shadow Traffic. I said, oh, I want to intern at Shadow Traffic. So I got my internship. My dad would drive me at 4 o'clock in the morning, and it was nearby, 5 miles away, Union, New Jersey. And again, luck. My chair was in front of Joe Nolan's studio. Joe Nolan and I were together all the time. And then when life went on and I was looking for work, I took my audition tape and I took it to the competitor of Shadow Traffic. It was Metro Traffic, brand new at the time in New York City in the World Trade Center. And I walk in and Joe Nolan's running the place. And I say, Joe, I'm looking for a job. And I go to hand him the tape and he goes, I don't need that tape. He's like, you're on WSOU. I know what you can do. You don't need the tape. Let's see what we got for you. Again, luck. There was a position on the Mank and the Mad Dog program, which was brand new at the time. And I got to be a part of them. A little more than a traffic reporter. They let me in. That's where it started. From there, people were listening. People like Scott Shannon helped me out at PLJ. I was doing a cable TV comedy show. Friend of mine, Rob Perna, great guy. He ran that, thought of it. It was his baby. And he said, you know what? Come work with me. I was the applause girl. You guys, our sign said applesauce. It didn't even say applause. And I shook that sign like crazy. And then when Magic Matt Allen from Z100 was no longer the announcer, they said, oh, we need an announcer. And I was able to step in. And from that TV show, the man I owe most of my life to, Rocky Allen, watched the TV show. He was the afternoon jock on PLJ. And he said, hey, I need a traffic reporter. How about that girl that's on the, with the great big hair? By the way, my hair was humongous. We used to rate the cliff, we used to call it. It was 80s hair. That's all you need to know. So I began on the Rocky Allen program. And like you had heard in the recording, because they went to the morning, they let me come in and work from home. And that's where my studio was born. I was so lucky, but I have to say before that happened, and I got to give you this real quick story, because this was a kind of turn of luck. Terrorism hit the World Trade Center. We were in there, 1993. We all got out. Just so all of you know that's in radio, I left that building without my purse, but I had my spot book. I ran out of that building down every flight of step, and I made sure I had every commercial in my book. I didn't miss one traffic report. I kicked somebody off a payphone, got on that payphone, and did my WFAN report right there on the street, where fire department and ambulance, it was chaos. But I didn't miss that commercial, so I got it in. So I know that you all appreciate that. And from that point, I was able to work in radio stations all over New York City because we didn't have a home. From WQEW, the New York Times owned that studio, to PLJ, to WNSR, and I was everywhere. And I was very lucky. Again, luck had it again. I have to say that the luck just continues, because being home, I have to say, I've been able to raise a family. And as you're saying that I'm the first woman to get this honor, I honestly do not know how women have a career and a family and a home and a garden and a car and a dog and a couple of cats. I have no idea. And again, the luck, my superpower, I was able to do it because I was home and I was stress-free. And if I didn't want to wear pants, if I wanted sweatpants when I worked in the morning, it was okay. I didn't have to shower and put on heels. Again, extremely lucky. And I was able to raise my 3 children. John Carlo, who you saw in the video, he was news director at WSOU, by the way. Anthony, Annabelle, and my husband, who crazy hours like myself, you may know him, John Del Giorno. He is the airborne reporter for WABC Eyewitness News in the mornings and has been for, I don't know, because I've been doing this for 30 years. So he's probably a good 25 right behind me. And by the way, Mr. Maben, as you were listening to me before you got there, my husband was listening to me since junior high school. That hurts. All right. So anyway, I do have to say that nowadays, I'd like to thank even the people that I work with now. First of all, my total traffic team and my management, and the Beasley radio group that I'm on, and the K104 radio group that I'm with. I just, the thank yous, I cannot thank you enough. The fact that my name is on the list with these other Hall of Famers honestly blows my mind. So again, thank you for a career, radio. Thank you for WSOU for starting it. Thank you for letting me be a mom. Thank you for letting me help every nonprofit, every PTO, every Girl Scout, Boy Scout. Thank you for letting me do all that. And I continue with that work. And I just need to say that it all started at Seton Hall and Seton Hall University and WSOU. So thank you again. I'm truly honored.
Woo! Yay! Woo! We love you, T.
Ah, thank you.
Love you, T.
We love you.
Congratulations, Tina.
It's a lot. Thank you very much.
You
For
deserve
all of
it.
you watching.
Congrats.
It is well.
Yay, T.
My
It is-
children are fun.
It is so well said, Christina. Dave talked about there's an inherent uncertainty built into this business, right? We know that careers are by design unstable. But I think one of the reasons so many of us have stuck with it in various capacities are the very things that you've talked about, that we get to help other people. We get to help one another professionally. We help out in the community. And it's one of the things I'm so proud of that in my time at SOU, how much the students have adopted the practice of professional broadcasters and doing community service. It is a special place to be. And we now have 3 very special people in that pantheon of WSOU honorees. Victoria, who will probably someday be back in the Hall of Fame, no longer young, but it happens to us all. And Dave and Christina, they just join a stellar group of Hall of Famers. So again, congratulations. Appreciate all 3 of you being here tonight, and for everyone who's been joining us virtually. That concludes the formal part of tonight's ceremony. We have heard from a few of you, though, that some of you would like an opportunity to do a little chit-chatting and interaction. And we technically have the room until 8. So Missy Colazzo and Jamie and I can, hang out and moderate a little networking and get to congratulate one another time. And you are free to join in that. However, I know that there are probably many people out there who are totally zoomed out by this time of day. And you should also feel free to log off and give your eyes some rest. Because this whole staring at the screen for 13 hours a day, it's hard. So we totally get that. But first, let's give a final round of applause for our honorees. And normally I have us sing happy birthday to the station at the ceremony, Hall of Fame ceremony, but I'm not sure how well it's going to work over Zoom. So I don't know. You look like you were eager to sing it, Christina. Do we try it?
This is a big day. This is the birthday.
This is the birthday. All right, let's give it a go. Unmute yourselves and let's see how good or awful this turns out to be. So, all right. So, happy birthday
to you.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday,
WSOU.
Happy birthday
to you and you.
All right. So congratulations, everybody. And I should also, I want to thank those of you who participated in the video, especially to Giancarlo and Dan and Frank, and I'm maybe missing somebody, and if I am, I apologize for that. But
Mark,
great
if I
job.
may.
Yes. Oh, look, it's Jack Kelly, the unofficial historian of WSOU.
Yeah, just send money. This is also the birthday of Victor J. Kemper, who is probably the oldest living WSOUer. I doubt if he's on this. He lives out in California, and I haven't heard from him. But as far as I know, April 14th is his birthday, so he shares it with the radio station. Wow. And he was the other guy that built the station with Tom Parnum, who we all know and love.
Thank you, Jack. That's
You're welcome.
You may, if you had mentioned that to me before, I have forgotten, but that is a great piece of station trivia and history.
Well, we've got a lot of trivia at the station, believe me.
So, all right. Well, anyone else have something they want to share, say?
I'd like to say something.
Go for it.
All right. Well, I'm going to say that Tina, all her friends are on here. I know they're here. I just can't see them. But we love you, Tina. And you know what? It's not luck. Tina is a workhorse. So she can't even admit that she's a workhorse. She is a workhorse. And we're going to say that it isn't luck. And I'm going to throw it out there that the good Lord does provide a pathway for us. But he sees how hard she works and doors open up. So we have to stay wide awake. And Tina, we love you with all our heart. And we're so proud of you. I've known Tina since second grade, and her other friends are on here. I don't know where they are. I can't see them. But I will tell you,
We're here, Mayor. We're here.
You're there, right? We'd go down the street. We'd go over to Pen and Pete's house. Tina'd have her boombox right on her shoulder. We'd be going down the street over in Maplewood. We are so blessed that we have gift. And Tina, it's not luck. I know it's not luck. And the thing is you should look at it even deeper. We're proud.
Ah, the joys of Zoom.
We froze.
Yep. No doubt.
Mayor, you're frozen.
Yep.
Maybe it's a dramatic pause.
Right. Thank you.
It was a wonderful speech until that.
I think Mary is back. So
I'm back.
You're unfrozen.
Thank you, Mary Ellen. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you to everybody.
I'd just like to say congratulations to Victoria. Dave, your pipes are insane. Everybody is jealous. And Tina, you are the absolute best.
Everybody, this is my husband on a daily basis, every single morning, starting at 6 a.m. TJ and I work on WJRZ, and we are together every day, every second.
Well, when you're on time with the traffic reports, yes. But I started doing the morning show solo, which is insane to try to do a solo morning show, especially when you're music intensive. But Tina came on as my traffic person. I begged her to. She had to rearrange stuff, and she makes the show. People, I've had to do. She's been off for the last 3 days, and it has been the worst 3 shows of the year easily because she's not there. So please be on time tomorrow because I need you. I can't do this without you, Tina. And I am looking forward to many more years of it. And just congratulations to you. And again, to Victoria and Dave. It's a thrill and an honor of my life to be able to celebrate this with my fellow SOUers. This is awesome.
Thanks. Thank you, TJ. You know, TJ, when I was doing mornings on WJRZ, I wish I had Tina. I was stuck with Pete Torriello. We had a great time, though.
I just want to say, first of all, this is indeed a momentous occasion. There is a TJ Bryan sighting.
It's very late. It's way past my bedtime, Anthony.
Oh, I'm sure it is. But I do want to congratulate my my old and dear friend Dave Packer and Christina Del Giorno, better known as Tina Lange to many of us, and also to Victoria Hafner for their inductions into the Hall of Fame and their Young Alumni honor. And I just want to say, hopefully next year we can do this in person, because you know that's the way this is meant to be.
Amen. Amen to that.
Absolutely. And I, for one, am very confident that we will be back in person next year.
I hope so, Mark, because I need that physical statue. Just so all of you know, I have a shelf in my house that's lined with Emmys that belong to my husband. And there's nothing of mine on there. And he allowed me to be part of his shelf. So I can't wait to be in person so I can get a physical award, I have to say.
Well, one nice thing about the Hall of Fame award is it's in color. And I believe that the Emmys are pretty much just one color. So yeah. It's going to look much more sharp than all those other awards.
That's right. Mine's going to shine.
That's right.
I think that needs to go right in the center spot on the shelf then.
Okay.
The good news is you don't have to wait a year. You'll get all of this courtesy of UPS. So
there you go.
I'll make sure the dog doesn't bite him.
Good. They appreciate that.
Yeah.
I would like to say something if that's okay.
Yes.
I would just like to first congratulate Dave Packer. Dave, that was I was very touched by the story you closed with, and I certainly agree with you that it's not just about what you've done, but how you've touched other people's lives. Victoria, from the short determined you were, and your professionalism that you exhibited at the radio station. And Christina, congrats to you as well. And one thing I also want to bring up, not just your accomplishments, but also working with your son, Giancarlo. The fact that he was not only also equally as professional at the radio station, but also such a good friend off the airwaves. I think that's also a reflection of yourself as a mother, and you're raising a really good friend such as Giancarlo. So I want to give you and him as well a shout out for that.
Miss you, Anthony. I'm getting too much love tonight. This is too much. You guys are great.
You're my little paisan. The Italians stick together.
All right, respect. I wanted to just really quickly chime in too. Dave, Victoria, congratulations, Mom. This is amazing. I'm like gonna brag about this to everybody. Don't worry about it. It's on the shelf. So, but thank you everyone for the shout outs, the opportunity to be on the video. I was off camera before because I was recording the whole thing. So just that's why, if you didn't see me before.
I like having youth. See, youth is a good thing. See, he recorded for me. What a good kid. Thank you, Giancarlo.
Got you.
Well, I think it's worth noting how much youth is actually on the Zoom tonight,
Yes.
as I've looked around, and that's terrific. And I don't know if it's because we're doing it virtually or not. And we have a second multi-generational SOU family here in the devotees. So we should probably throw that out as well.
Hi.
but often, recent graduates aren't at the Hall of Fame, and it makes sense. But tonight I see people who, are a class of 2018 and 19 and so forth. And that is awesome. And I hope some of what you've heard tonight has been an inspiration. A few members of the class of 2020 as well. So it's just great to see everyone, even if we can't all be together. Well, we probably have time for 1 or 2 more comments. I want to be very respectful of my colleagues who are helping us out tonight. They've already had long days. And so before we hit the witching hour,
Hey, Mark,
1 or 2 more things. Yes, sir, Mr. Devotee, sir.
since I have your name under my picture, can I just say something real fast? One, Giancarlo was one of the most on the ball and hardest working interns we had at WDHA when I was there. Dave, congratulations. And Tina, next year, I hope it is in person because I owe you a hug. Congrats to all.
Thank you.
And Matt, we get to listen to your daughter now. I did catch her a couple of times on the air, and 2 thumbs up.
Thank you.
Yes, fantastic job.
DJ JD.
Love it.
Hey, Mark.
Yes.
Renee Dirk is here. I just want to say congratulations to Victoria, Dave, and of course, you said, Tina goes by very many names. Back in WSU time, she went by the name of Tiger. Anyway, congratulations and good luck to everybody.
Thank you, Renee. Try to make your heart. Thank you.
All right, I'm not going to ask for the backstory on that.
And it wasn't of my doing. Renee, AKA Scrap Metal, decided that I was Tiger.
I think Renee was the pioneer of coming up with DJ names
No
at
doubt.
WSOU.
Which
Because
continued with his
before
brother.
Renee was there was, everybody just used their name, and then it was scrap metal, and it was, every
Titanium. What was your brother?
TI2.
TI2. Yeah, that's right.
Great
I
stuff.
forgot all about that.
It's entertainment, and it was great stuff.
I thought it wasn't a true radio name unless somebody else gave it to you.
Right.
There you go.
It is certainly, yes. There is, some people follow that tradition, John. There's no doubt about it. So, again, it's just been so terrific tonight, and look forward to when we all gather again in person for not only the Hall of Fame ceremony, but we have other important things coming up where I hope we will be in person. The 30th anniversary of the current format is not far off, and it's only 2 years away from being 75 years old. So, those milestone birthdays are always a big, as many of you know, are always a big party and a good time. So we have much to look forward to. Jamie Cook, before we wrap up, any notes you want to give the alums and friends?
Yes. Hello. Sorry. I've been doing spotlighting and, making sure I'm getting everyone who's speaking. This was a great event. I am just so thrilled to be able to do this for you guys. You guys are one of our, we love having WSOU around, and this was awesome. And we love to see you guys talk to each other and engage. So this was great. So yeah, thank you all for coming. I hope you all enjoyed this, like Mark said, this different way that we did this tonight. And this was literally one of the best virtual events that I have been a part of. So thank you to all of you for making this such a great opportunity for me and my team to help out with.
Jamie, because some people joined us a little bit late, you want to also remind folks where they can watch the entire video? And
yeah, so we're gonna have on the short URL is wsou.edu/WSOU alumni. So we will have on there all of the videos and then the recording of tonight's event. Within a couple of days, we have to kind of, send some stuff out and get the web team to put it up there, but it'll be up there shortly. And you can rewatch this, you can rewatch just the videos in general, but you can share it with your network as well. So this is recorded and will be shared. So.
Great. Jamie, thank you again to you and everyone for helping out tonight, and for all that you do for our alums and the university as a whole. This was I like this event, some virtual events are better than others. I think this was a good one. So well done. It's really, it's so great, again, to have seen everybody, to the family and friends who joined us tonight. Welcome to this crazy space that is WSOU. I hope you can see that we really are nice people, and we're a group that really does love and support one another. To all of our alums, so good to see you all again. And really, we had to postpone this last year because of the pandemic, and I appreciate the patience that Victoria and Christina and Dave showed. In we kept hoping, oh well, yeah, just a couple more months and we can see each other. Well, we know how that worked out, but we didn't want to wait any longer. All three of you are very special people, and now you're in a very special place of honor. And thank you for letting us, honor you tonight. So I wish everyone a good evening and a good rest of the week and good health. And look forward to when we can see each other in person again. Go Pirates, of course, and always long live WSOU.
Thank you.
Happy
Good night,
birthday,
everyone.
SOU. Good night.
Good night.
Have a great night, everybody.
Good night.
Excellent.
Good night.
Night, everybody.
Good night.
Woo, Tina.
Fantastic.